This is an opinion piece, but it's very interesting of what's going on in Miami right now, and then we're going to talk about it. DeSantis, it says DeSantis hypocrisy about large protests completely exposed during Cuba protests in Miami. We're going to get into the actual facts of this. Earlier this year, Florida's governor and wannabe, excuse this language, it is an opinion piece, wannabe dictator, Ron DeSantis signed HB1 into law. What is HB1? It is a law which criminalizes large protests in a way, and it explicitly bans the blocking of traffic by protesters. Protesters who are blocking traffic, blocking roadways, can be arrested, and it is so extreme that it allows drivers to hit protesters and get off scot-free, where they could essentially commit vehicular manslaughter and suffer no repercussions for it. That is real. This law, he said the law is completely unnecessary. Already have the law in the books about rioting, violent behavior during political demonstrations. So if you decide to, do some violent rioting, for some weird reason, you will get in trouble. So it was debated in the Florida Capitol. The Republicans even admitted that there has been no large-scale riots that made this law necessary, and that it would also not apply to the riots we are accustomed to seeing after major sporting events. They argued it was preemptive measure to ward off the possibility of future riots while infringing on our First Amendment rights. Also true. So, fast forward to the present, and the streets of Miami are completely shut down. Because at the same time DeSantis was in Miami holding a press conference with Cuban dissidents, and while he has always been vocal in opposition to Black Lives Matter, he refused to address the protesters who violated his anti-free speech law, which they shut down streets because of how many were protesting, the treatment of the Cuban people. Here is a tweet from David Rivera. DeSantis asked about the Cuban protesters right now in Miami who shut down the 826 per question asked. Governor signed law making that criminal. He did not answer the question, but deflected to protests on the island. So, the only difference is which group is protesting in this situation. And that is disgusting, and you just see the kind of dishonest actor that DeSantis is, because when it's something that he believes in, it's fine. When it's something he agrees with, he doesn't have an issue with them shutting down the major roadways. And when it's something he disagrees with, when it's something he's ideologically opposed to, he makes these giant leaps and bounds in laws that are completely unnecessary and violate our First Amendment right of free speech. Those laws are in place now, so you should enact them. But it's up to the police to decide if they enact the law or not. How does that make any sense? Because I don't know exactly what the police and how they're gonna stand, but the police and Black Lives Matter obviously have a very tumultuous history, to say the least. That's putting it mildly. That's putting it cool. Of course, they're gonna have more issue with them. So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the people who are protesting in SOS Cuba should be arrested, not in the slightest. I think this law is complete garbage for either party. But it just shows the kind of person that you're really dealing with in Florida. It shows the kind of person that DeSantis is. He is a dishonest actor. He is biased and honestly slightly racist. Like, let's call it how it is. And I hope that the people in Florida wake up and everyone realizes what kind of bullshit this guy is on, because he needs to be taken down a peg.